Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Jees Kitchen. Today we're making biryani. The first step is to put your pot on high and then add in oil. The amounts are below so you can see. Then add your crushed ginger and garlic and saute it until it becomes a little golden brown, making sure it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. Then you're adding in your fried onions. And then you keep stirring them. Make sure they get a nice golden brown. You just want to warm up your fried onions, not really cook them since they're already cooked. And then after that, you're going to add your spices. Those are all listed below in the description box. Once you have your spices in, throw in your chunks of tomato and give it a good stir. And you turn down your heat all the way low. Then add some water in to make a sauce. You can check the other video where we made chicken karai. That shows you how to make a good sauce, how to boon the salan, as you say. So now we're opening the lid after a little bit just to see how the tomatoes are cooking. Now, Amiji turned up the heat and she's just gonna crush the tomatoes a little bit, bring the sauce more together, reduce it, and then the next step is to add in our chicken. Now, this chicken, you can get it from a desi butcher or you can just have some legs and thighs. The desi butchers or the Indian or Pakistani butchers, they'll cut up the chicken into a whole chicken into pieces, so you can use that. Otherwise, any legs and thighs will do. Okay, so let's just give it a little good stir. Make sure that the chicken is covered by the sauce. Now, Ami's just stirring the chicken a little bit more. She's making sure that the sauce doesn't stick to the bottom. And she's starting from the outside of the pot, going in a circle, and then cutting in between. This makes sure that your meat doesn't start to break and then the pieces stay whole. All right, so the next step is to turn the stove back to low and just cover it with the lid. Now the thing is, don't add any water at this point because the chicken will leave its own juice, so you do not need to add any extra. And inshallah, in our upcoming videos, we'll list the exact times for each step. But for now, when you're cooking this part, all you want to do is make sure that the chicken is cooked through. Now while our chicken is cooking, we're gonna put a pot of water, and it's going to have 12 cups of water because we have 4 cups of rice, and you're going to bring that to a boil. Now you want to do it at the same time that the chicken is cooking so that the rice stay warm. Don't do it before because the rice need to be warm when you assemble them. And with this step as well, preheat your oven to 400 degrees. So I just turned it on and now it's preheating. And then in our pot of water, we're going to add salt. And then Ami has this contraption in which she put all the spices that are whole that go in the rice. This really ensures that you get all the flavor without all the spices coming in the rice and then you have to pick them out. So you put all those spices inside. Okay, Ami put the lid back on and now she's just checking on the chicken. It needs just a little bit more time. You can see it's not pink at all anymore. And she's making sure to stand by and make sure that it's not sticking to the bottom. I think that's the secret of Amiji's cooking. She does not leave the stove. She stands there and gives it a lot of love. So the chicken is done, and what we're gonna do is actually focus on the rice now, and you can see that the water's boiling. It has a nice beige color. It's because it's coming from the spices. All the flavor is coming through. So now that the water is boiling, we're going to add our rice. Now make sure that with basmati rice you soak it beforehand and you rinse it very good. So she's adding the rice, and notice how she just put it in gently because if you just dump it or use a spoon to cut through with it, it will break. And basmati rice are very gentle, so you want to be very careful with them. Now we're just going to wait for the water to come to a boil. Okay, so the rice have boiled, and make sure that they're 90% cooked, not fully. You just want to be able to break them and mush them in your hand. And now she's draining them. Be careful, the water is very hot. Okay, so we're at the dum part. I actually don't know how to translate that into English, but essentially what you're doing is you're taking your chicken and you're leaving it at the bottom as the first layer. So now Amiji's just adding her special biryani spice blend. She's just grinded that, not all the way, so it's still a little bit coarse. So she just sprinkled that on top of the chicken. And the chicken, she's just cooking it a little bit. It's almost done. All right, so on to our toppings. Here we have some beautiful red tomatoes, fresh mint, and really hot green chilies. So what you do is just throw that in on top of your chicken. Some people add yogurt at this time. You can also add milk. You have a lot of options. So this just gives your biryani a little bit more flavor, and the tomatoes especially make it really moist. So just give that a little stir, mix it together. Okay, so now Amiji is going to add her rice. She's just putting it in slowly, not dumping it all at once, just a little bit at a time. And then she's going to cover all of the chicken with the rice. Okay, so Ami has layered the rice very well, flattened it out, made it even, and she threw some yellow food color on top, and then she added some water to it to make it diluted so she has like kind of different shades. This is optional, but it just makes the rice look really pretty when it's done and you mix it. Okay, so now we're completing the dum part. What you do at this point is you take a sheet of tin foil. You can do a tea towel. You can use a tea towel as well, but you cover the pot with it and then you put the lid on top. And then after that, we're going to stick this baby in the oven. That's the way to do them, and it really fuses the rice and the salan together to give you that biryani flavor. So Ami put the lid on top that is oven safe, and this pot is oven safe as well. If you don't have a pot like this, you can use any aluminum foil tray. That's fine as well. And we're going to bake this in the oven at 400 degrees. So we left it in the oven for 15 minutes and then another 15 minutes with the oven off. And now look at that. Do you see all that steam? That means that the dum went well, that the rice really fused together with the salan or the sauce. And now Ami's just giving it a good stir. Do you see how the tomatoes are still whole? You can see some of the mint. The green chilies are whole as well. This is good for people who don't like a lot of spices, but then some people do. So this way, the non-spicy eaters can just pick out the chilies and it is good for them. Wow, look at those colors. It's so vibrant. I wish you were here to taste this with us. So now Ami's just plating it. And there you have it. Biryani with Ami. I hope you like this recipe. Make it at home. Tell us what you think. Comment below and give us some feedback. How can we improve? What recipes you want to see next? And give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Assalamu alaikum.